Hey, good morning, everybody. It's early mornings, LALATE. The toast is toasted and the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and you made it to the weekend. Ready to crush the weekend? Big exciting news as you start the weekend with now, 9 stimulus laws? Yes, if you missed what happened this week, no less than a half dozen stimulus executive orders were issued. I'm going to have the recap in this video. Meantime, what will be happening next week? And what's the implication of those new stimulus executive orders? And how does that impact what's coming in the pipeline, including SSI and SSDI? And what about the remainder of your $10,000 EIDL grant and also your unpaid stimulus check? I have so much exciting news across the board. I'm really excited for you. It's a Saturday, but hey, let's get ready to rock and roll. The Casino's open today. Let's go have some brunch and $12 ice cream. Let's get ready to rock and roll. This is Early Mornings LALATE. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Early Mornings LALATE. Wow, what a day it is. After the first half week of the Joe Biden administration has already rolled out a half a dozen executive orders, I'll be going through all of them on this recording and what that means for your pocketbook. So if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that alert button on the front of the channel and also like this video. And if you've not become a member, become a Purple Power member by clicking the member link in the video's description, at the top of the chat, in the pinned comment, or above the video right here. Become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Casino VIP. Wow, so much exciting stuff across the board, and they're already chatting about it over there in the instant chat room. This is Instant Premiere, and as an Instant Premiere, you can chat with your Purple Power buddies about nearly anything. So with that, so much happening, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you start this morning is that there's now a half dozen stimulus orders in place. What happened? We had the first stimulus package of March of last year, and you had the second stimulus package of fall of December last month, their law. But then as the week went on, Joe Biden just kept on signing executive order after executive order. And along came a lot of them. Let's recap what are the additional executive orders for stimulus that were signed this week. First, there was one for student loan debt for moratorium on repayment. So you do not have to pay back your student loan debts, if it's a federal debt. Currently, it's on moratorium, principal and interest. Next, eviction moratorium under the CDC, currently extended again under moratorium. That moratorium was set to expire late January. It's now continued for several months. Then mortgage forbearance. That's new on the books. There was no mortgage forbearance. So now there's one that keeps your mortgage federally backed on protection until the pandemic is over. And those were just the first 3 on the first day. Can you imagine? Well, yesterday, a whole slew of them came out. What was number 1? Number 1 was SNAP being extended again for more months. Under the second stimulus package, SNAP, the food program, got a 15% increase for 6 months, from January to June. But on Friday, Joe Biden stepped in and said, you know what, I'm extending for another 6 months. So now there'll be a 15% increase for SNAP for 12 months. It's law now. What's SNAP? SNAP is food. How do you get SNAP? Department of Agriculture, 211. How much does it pay? It would normally pay about $1,400 a month for a family of 4 in Hawaii, but this increases it 15% for a year. But there's more. Joe Biden's other executive order yesterday extended PBET nationally and also with a step up. What is PEBT? It's money for food if kids have to stay home because the schools are closed because of the pandemic. And you have to pay to feed the kid, so the SNAP program says, no, we'll reimburse you for some money. So they give $114 approximately per child per month under PEBT, normally. But Joe Biden, he's saying, I'm going to, 1, make it national, which it wasn't, and I'm going to increase it 15% across the board. Wow. So not one, but two huge lifts for food for a year. Imagine a family of four. They all got all got moved up 15%, and then the child that's staying home for school, that's an additional 114, and that steps up 15%. That's good news. What else happened on Friday? Well, we heard what I told you was going to happen. Treasury stepping in for unpaid missing stimulus checks. So under the first stimulus package, some people have still not gotten that $1,200 stimulus check. On the second stimulus package, a ton of people have never seen the $600 second stimulus check. So what are they doing? Two things. They're going to launch a place on the IRS's website to request a replacement check. Or two, they're going to encourage you to file your tax return on the first day you can file a tax return, February 12th, and on that return to request the return of a refund for the amount of the stimulus check unpaid. To learn more information, they actually have the details currently posted in form on irs.gov. When you get to the website, look for economic impact payment checks on the front of the page. It gives you information more about this. Then we turn to rent. I told you that rent under the second stimulus package was unpaid. And so is utilities, unpaid. It's now changed. On Friday, Department of Treasury issued a guidance as to how it's going to do the rent program. The rent program, how do you get it? You reach out to your cities and counties. Where do you reach out to them? 211 or 311. Is it live? Not yet, but it will go live in the next few days. So what is Biden doing? He's stepping in for second stimulus to do exactly what I told you he was going to do. Unpaid monies from second stimulus that were sitting around for rent have not been dispersed. So he said, hey, get the money out to cities and counties so they can go do rent. So watch your city and county to see when they do rent. Finally, the last executive order on Friday was sort of a mixture of hazard pay and a little bit of mixture of stimulus. How does it work? It's for someone who works for a government contractor. That is someone that is not a government employee, but someone who has who's outside business that works for the government. Example is a landscaping company that's hired by the federal government to mow the lawns in front of the federal building. They may have hired you as a worker at $8 an hour. Until yesterday, Joe Biden passed the law that says, hey, if you're a federal contractor, third party, you have to employ all your people at least $15 an hour. Wow. And it has a paid sick leave in there. If you get sick, you can get paid sick leave. Lord. Now, what's paid sick leave under the third stimulus package? That comes up after this. But suddenly you see so many things under third stimulus package that was supposed to be part of the bill, like like SNAP, PEBT, that are suddenly being taken out of the third stimulus package being made law. And then you have Joe Biden step in and say, hey, get some money out there. The Friday news ended with reports that Joe Biden issued a new statement saying, hey, I'm instructing all my colleagues in the cabinet to get stimulus out as quickly as possible. This is not an unusual statement. In fact, you knew this was happening. Last Sunday, I told you that statement was going to be released, so they knew about it. That's not a surprise. I also told you that certain things would kind of come by executive orders, like those three things on day one. That also is not a surprise. The surprise that has not been a surprise is that literally everything that Joe Biden said he would do in the days leading up to this week happened exactly that way. The statements he made last weekend were exactly what he did this week, day one, day two, day three. But he has not been consistent with his own transition papers. His transition paper said he was going to do FPUC retro at $600 a week. Now, the third stimulus package bill proposes $400 a week, not retro. He also said during the campaign and transition papers that he would always help you and do as many stimulus packages as you so needed to get through this pandemic. Hasn't done that either when it comes to the stimulus check. He was supposed to give you several stimulus checks. He's barely giving you one stimulus check. And by all accounts, this is not a full stimulus check. In December of last year, I detailed the Cash Act. The Cash Act was a fix-it bill to fix things between the second stimulus package of last year and the current third stimulus package. It was not supposed to be merged into something. The reason for the bill was the second stimulus package was supposed to be a $2,000 check. It wasn't. It was a mistake. It was a $600 stimulus check because they were rushing. Well, in the weeks that followed, Joe Biden said, and Chuck Schumer said that they would give you $2,000 and then the Cash Act in the third stimulus package. Suddenly, they're only giving you the Cash Act and really not a standalone stimulus check. Not cool. And that's why the campaign of this channel has been hashtag FPC Retro and hashtag MSC since Friday. It's still up for negotiations, the items of the third stimulus package. So take this video and tag politicians and use that hashtags. Make your own emojis or your own GIFs and say, hey, this is not sufficient. You should be doing this way. Now, ultimately, we want to remain positive. We want to remain focused, and we don't want to be defeatist about anything. But we certainly want to push, as the Purple Power always pushes. Then finally, EIDL. I told you this was going to happen last weekend. I told you last weekend you were going to see the opening of the EIDL grant. It happened. The EIDL grant has now reopened for people who applied in 2020 that were low income. People who applied in 2020 who are not low income will be getting paid next. That's next in the food chain. First, they're going to be sending out SBA.gov emails inviting you to go to a portal to confirm your bank account, routing information, business name, all that type of stuff. And then they're going to ask you to submit some documentation and sign some documentation to confirm that you qualify for the major $10,000 EIDL grant. And then as a low-income applicant, you will get the money. Now, this may sound confusing to some viewers because the original first stimulus EIDL grant did not have this requirement. So when they get to the non-low income, will they require this as well? I don't think so. Moreover, what makes this also very confusing is that the second stimulus package has two provisions in there. They're supposed to be going live now. An EIDL grant for low income and an EIDL grant for agricultural. They're not going live. So suddenly there's no allowance for new grants under second stimulus and that you have to wait for third stimulus. Yeah, that's what's happening right now. Now, I don't know if that's going to continue. I don't think it is. I just think they're doing a little bit of money at a little bit of time. So what's next in the totem pole? The next in the totem pole is third stimulus coming up after this. That's where we're heading to in the next few days. Third stimulus check and third stimulus package. It's not a bill publicly. It is a bill privately. We've just not seen it. Then we'll see the SSI and SSDI, the standalone bill. And then we'll see and we'll also see the $10,000 student loan debt forgiveness, the teachers bill, and the infrastructure bill. What I want you to understand is that ultimately, this is the universe that we're in. There's no altered universe. So in the last 24 hours, I've seen comments that says, can Joe Biden just send out that $1,400 stimulus check? No, that taking money out of Treasury and putting in the mail requires an act of Congress. He actually has to have a bill for that. Then people are saying, then some comments said, well, have they mailed the $1,400 yet? No. First, you have to have a bill. It has to be signed and it has to be finalized. Then people are sort of saying, well, why doesn't he do executive order for 20 other things? Because executive orders cannot be done if it requires taking money out of Treasury. You can't take money out of Treasury for an executive order to send it in the mail. It's as simple as that. And ultimately, there's a message that I have to deliver this morning, and that is of patience. When I launched this channel on April 25th, viewers did not get the EIDL grant. Now, no less than, almost an entire year, they may suddenly see the EIDL grant. Now, I'm not certainly going to say that you're going to wait a year for third stimulus to land your bank account, but those people have had a lot of perseverance to wait. And there's some people that have not seen the $600 stimulus check yet in their bank account. It's not a particular time or place to say, where is my $1,400 stimulus check when there's not a bill and not a law. There may be a donut, but that's all there is. So give it some time. Third stimulus is still happening. Joe Biden may still carve out more items for executive orders. I believe he can. And then we'll see as he carves away what's left in the bill. and what will be the final vote on the bill. Stay with me as the continuation of Early Morning LALATE. It follows right after this at the 6:30 edition. In that video, I'll go over third stimulus. Everything in the third stimulus package you've been wondering about. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe. Like this video and become a member by clicking the pinned comment top of the screen or in the description. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay LA for more.